President Trump is set to deliver his State of the Union address in just a matter of hours, focusing on his administration's accomplishments during his first 3 years in office. I do want to bring in our White House correspondent Chanel Rion for a preview of that speech. Hi, Chanel.
Hi. One
of those key accomplishments that President Trump is expected to talk about tonight is, of course, the economy. What can we expect to hear from President Trump about the economic boom under his administration?
Well, Greta, you'll hear him highlight two particular classes of people: the blue-collar group on the one hand and the middle class on the other. Now, his speech will be largely optimistic in tone. We have been hearing this from both the White House and from senior administration officials who have been involved in the writing of this speech, but it will be very optimistic. It'll contrast severely with the messaging that has been coming out of the Democrat side. But on the economic boom in particular, it's going to be a discussion of how the Trump economy really has benefited all classes of Americans. And as it pertains to the blue-collar worker, as it pertains to the middle class, which traditionally Democrats have really taken as a monopolized demographic, President Trump is walking in here saying these two groups have really benefited from such things as lowered, a tax rate that we slashed in the first 3 years of my presidency, a U.S. Mexico-Canada trade agreement that was just passed, the passage of phase 1 of a China trade deal. These are all very large scoped projects that really affect middle America. They affect blue-collar workers, and President Trump will highlight these facts during his speech tonight.
You mentioned trade, Chanel, and that, of course, has been a key part of the economic reform under the Trump administration. President Trump, of course, looking forward as we do look to possibly negotiate a new trade deal with the UK now that Brexit has been finalized. What can we expect the president to say about his efforts to create more free and fair trade deals for the U.S.?
Well, certainly we expect him to mention looking forward, but you won't hear him talking too far out tonight in this speech. Tonight, Greta, it's going to be all about celebrating the trade deals that have already been passed. Keep in mind, USMCA and China Phase 1 were almost impossible deals that were really just signed this last month. And so the president seems, I just got back from a luncheon, a pre-State of the Union luncheon. It was off the record, but the president was very optimistic, but he was very adamant about wanting to emphasize the fact that we do not need to underplay the monumental scale that just happened in terms of USMCA and China Trade 1. Now, he said he will move on to UK, dealing with UK and bringing deals in from Japan, but that is to come. That is in the future. He wants to focus on the successes of the trade deals that have been accomplished just in the last few weeks.
Chanel, the Treasury Secretary has previously said they're working on another round of tax cuts for the middle class. Can we expect to hear anything about that from President Trump tonight?
Yes, Greta. So tax cut 2.0, as Mnuchin has called it. This is going to be expanded on under the lens of promoting more growth for the U.S. economy. President Trump has extended or shown some of his disfavor towards the federal interest rates and how Jerome Powell, the federal chairman, has not been acting in the way that President Trump feels would contribute to growth. And so tax cuts 2.0 will affect the middle class and the blue-collar worker again, but it'll also affect corporate America, all scales, the all-inclusive economy, as the Trump administration has called it. And the mission there is just to promote growth in spite of some of the other factors that might be pulling it behind in the coming year.
All right, One America's Chanel Rion there live from the White House with a preview of what we can expect to hear from President Trump on the economy and during his State of the Union tonight. Thanks so much, Chanel.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.